title of today's talk is going to be Unleashing the Power Within People. So as we start the presentation, what I want to do is I want to ask you 3 questions all related to this theme, the topic of the talk, which is power. So when was the last time that you felt power? When was the last time you experienced power? When was the last time you felt powerless? And when was the last time that you felt powerful? Please allow yourself just a few moments to really connect to those questions. When was the last time you felt power, felt powerless, and also the last time you felt powerful? Those 3 questions set the scene for the talk today. And I also want to start the session by sharing a secret with you. And the secret relates to how I work and how I approach my work with the people that I engage with. And due to my training, I view people as a triangle. On one point of the triangle, you've got the person's thoughts, what goes on in their cognitive processes. In the other aspect of the triangle, you've got their feelings, the emotions that they feel and they experience as they go through their life. And the final point of the triangle is their behaviors. It's an individual's actions, the way they choose to behave and do the things that they do in the life that they live. So when introducing this way of viewing people and the way that I work with people and the theme and the topic of power, in my experience, in my opinion, power fits into the feelings energy space. So it's closer towards what people might feel as an emotion, as an emotional energy. However, that doesn't mean it's a way on its own, it's isolated. It also can impact upon people's thinking, their thoughts. So people that have quite powerful thoughts, but also people that act in quite powerful ways, people that are quite power hungry or decide to behave in a powerful manner. And the reason for sharing that is because that will hopefully frame some of my thoughts and the points that I'm going to share with you today and how I've reached some of the conclusions that I wanted to share with you. But before we go into that stage of the presentation, let's clarify and think about what power actually is. Now, power is something that you cannot buy. The picture on the screen shows a big warehouse. We know that power doesn't get manufactured in a big factory, put on shelves, and then put in brown packages that then get delivered to our front door. It's something that you cannot buy. And it's actually something that lives within us as people, and often a space deep within us as individuals. The research that's been conducted regarding power and the theme of power and the books that have been written also categorize power, or some people believing that power can be given, earned, and in fact stolen. Some other people would believe that power must be used or it can eventually be wasted. I'm wondering what your thoughts are or how you would actually describe what power is. And if you agree with those statements around power being able to be given, for example, or maybe even stolen, and if you feel that if power is within you, does it have to be used, or eventually would it become wasted? In my experience, power is a feeling. That's why I put it towards the top of the emotions part of the triangle. For me, power holds an energy within it, which is why I've included the flame image on this slide. It's something that you hold, it holds an energy, and it really has that ability to push your emotions and energy feelings higher. As I've already indicated, and as we've concluded, it is something that cannot be bought. It will not be delivered to your front door. But there's also something really significant that happens when I work with people around the theme of topic, is that some people don't want it. So there are some people that actually decide that they don't want to hold power, and they prefer to be powerless. They don't want to be in a powerful position. They want to push the power away. Again, I'm wondering if you can think of anybody or you know anybody that description would fit. 3 categories of people, in my experience, exist around the theme of power. The first ones being the people that are power hungry. They love power, as that image describes. They want to hold it in their hands. They want to use it for their purposes. They want to be powerful, potentially dominant people. They might want to manipulate people and use it as a force for their needs and for their services. Other people that I know of would want to push power away. They want to be powerless. They're the people that, if asked a question, would say things like, oh, no, you decide. I don't want to be thinking about that, or I don't want to make that decision. You take that responsibility for me. They're the people that push power or power feelings as far away from them as they possibly can. And then the third group of people, the healthier group of people that I've interacted with and experienced, are the people that are able to hold a balance of power. These are people that are able to be powerful at times, but also people that are able to experience at times hold feeling powerless. The quote that formulated my talk today, and the talk is really centralized around, is a quote from Alice Walker, and it says, the most common way people give up their power is by thinking that they don't have any. The most common way people will give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. And I return back to that earlier slide where I shared with you my way of working. In my experience, people will think that they just don't have any of that power within them. And so it eventually leads to them feeling like they have no power at all over their lives or the decisions that they make. I'm going to share with you an example as to prove, and it proves that you do have power within you. If you think about the next interaction that you're going to have with somebody, recognize the power that you have, because in that interaction, when you exchange, when you exit, you will not exit in a neutral space. Whether you're speaking to a work colleague or a friend or a family member, when you share that interaction, as you exit, you will be in a positive energy space or a potential negative energy space, because you have power within you and that will impact upon them. Likewise, they will have power within them that will impact on you. So no matter what position or what space you feel you're in regarding your own power, please recognize that you already have it within you, because we are not robots. We have the power to impact on others. So once you've recognized that it's within you, then it can be really powerful if we start to think about how we harness your inner power. And through my work within psychology and psychotherapy, and now in later work within the coaching and team development world, I've developed a core set of skills that enable people to reconnect to their inner power. And it all starts with asking them how they feel and how they think towards the topic of power. The same thing that we're doing together right now. And I can share with you, some people, when they think of or have the idea of power, absolutely love it. Some of them hate it and can potentially fear it. Others will fantasize about it, and they fantasize about what it might be like to have more power. And other people will become extremely uncertain or doubtful about the thought of having power. And when these people actually then have it, it does at times have the ability to create self-doubt and low confidence. And those people, when I get to work with them, what we quickly identify is that there will be a block or a disruption to their power flow and power behaviors. And sometimes we'll be in a position of knowing that and recognizing that they have power, but not know what to do with it. The doubt will be so high, it's blocking their ability to actually harness and use the inner power that we have as people. So let me give you a greater example. One of the areas or groups of clients that I get to work with in my work is professional athletes, and predominantly that will be professional footballers. Sometimes these will be athletes, footballers who have been in the game for 10, 15, 20 years. But the reason why they'll come and work with me is because they will have lost or become disconnected from their power. Now, linking that to the football example, that might mean that they lost some of their skills or their playing abilities and confidence levels, or their knowledge and experience of the game or understanding about how to really optimize their performance and connect to their power. My role and how I then approach that work is about reconnecting that individual to their power that exists within them. I do not have the ability to teach them or get them to become a better footballer, because I can't play football myself. But it's not about that. It's not about the physical act of playing the game. It's actually about what's going on inside, that inner power source. And that's where I'm able to work, removing, to increase, as it says on the slide there, their confidence, improve their performance, and ultimately then harness that power to lead to success. So now we've thought about individuals and how we might harness and engage the power that exists within them. Now I'm going to shift focus into more of the business world, where I spend some of my time working with people and organizations and teams, thinking about how to unleash the power within their people. So if we go back to some facts, some details that we've already established, that no one will ever leave an interaction with another person in a neutral space. They will either leave in that positive energy or potentially negative energy. And I repeat these phrases: you have power within you to impact on others, and they have the power to impact upon you. One of the first questions that I ask leaders, managers, owners of businesses when talking about their teams and their peoples is this: how comfortable are they with the concept and idea of increasing the power within their people, within their teams, and within their staff? It'd be interesting if I walked into your office tomorrow and I got an opportunity to meet with you and your people and asked you that question, to see what responses I would get from the people that are watching the talk today. How comfortable are you with increasing the power within your people? Now, we know that people with high emotional intelligence levels, and they are comfortable holding that power, feeling of power energy, will become the most successful leaders. These are leaders who use their power to enhance others. They do not use their power to threaten and dominate others, or introduce items or feelings such as a fear culture to their organization. The most successful sports teams and business teams that I have worked with have powerful leaders. That is something that they're not apologizing for. They're not apologizing for being powerful, but they recognize and balance their use of power. And they use their power for growth and good, not for negativity and fear. I have consent of a client to share with you an example that he had when he was playing professional football many years ago. He played for a team that was moderately to highly successful, but had a manager who used his role that came with it to negatively dominate the team. And his strongest strategy to do that would be at halftime during games. The players would leave the playing pitch, they would go back to the changing rooms, and during the interaction of the team talk at halftime, would often dominate, criticize, and often be extremely negative with his power over the players' levels of confidence and abilities, often questioning whether they were working hard enough, and sometimes threatening to dock their wages or even slash their contracts, make them redundant. That is an example of how power within an individual and a leader can be used in a very negative way and ultimately leads to destruction rather than an empowering, a positive environment. We believe in today's society that the power within people is vast, and one way to access that is to ensure that your people are seen, heard, and valued. And the good news that I'm able to share with you this afternoon, just after 5:10 on a Tuesday, is that you already have that ability and opportunity to fulfill that. You can go away straight after this call, this talk, and help develop your people through engaging with them, ensuring they feel seen, heard, and valued. It all starts with you connecting with them. At times you may need to be powerful, and at times you may need to share power with them. Maybe at times you might actually need to be powerless within your leadership and management style. But if you hold a power balance, they will feel it, recognize it, and success will follow. So this idea of power balance, and sometimes sharing it and sometimes holding it, being powerful, being powerless, I'm wondering how you would view or how you would describe your ability to hold a power balance. One of the key aspects of that is that with power will come responsibility. So for some people, that weight of responsibility throws out their ability to hold a positive power balance. Some leaders, some managers, some business owners that I work with can use power for good. However, some will use it for bad, for negative reasons or negative patterns. And others will push out the power because they don't want the weight of it and try and offload business decisions and business direction to other people because they don't want the weight of that power on top of them. However, I want to re-emphasize this to you in my talk today. If you can have a balance of power and you can truly connect to it, that will be very powerful for you. And if you're able to harness that, it will lead to success. And I believe that in both your business and personal lives too. So, just before the section where we're reaching the phase where there'll be an opportunity for questions, in a nutshell, the theme of power and unleashing the power within people. For you as an individual, please recognize that you already have power within. Watch out, that next interaction that you share with somebody will be a powerful interaction. Explore, did you leave positively? Did they leave positively? Or were you both potentially in different spaces? Check in, ask yourself, reflect. Are you someone who wants power? Do you want that powerful feeling? Do you want to hold the power? If you do, what do you want to use it for? Are you already an organization, a leader, a manager, a business owner who unleashes the power within your people? Are you already comfortable with doing it? Is it something that you want to happen? Or is it potentially an area that needs further work? Final thing from me today, please do not fear power. Harness it. And I believe that success will follow. Thank you for listening to my talk today.